America, on this election day, so much at stake for the country right now as Americans head to the polls for the final votes.
That's right. American voters will decide which party will control the Senate and the House of Representatives. The Democrats' current majority on Capitol Hill is razor thin. It is possible Republicans will take back both houses of Congress.
And of course, the stakes so high for President Biden, a Republican takeover of Congress, to essentially doom his ability to get any of his agenda passed over the next couple of years.
That's what usually happens in the midterms. So many Americans have already voted. In the end, it's going to come down to the final turnout, which side's voters are more motivated and enthusiastic. Our correspondents are out in force in the critical battleground states. You see them right there all across the country. Congressional correspondent Rachel Scott starts us off. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning. Here we go. The two numbers hanging over this election are 5 and 1. Republicans need 5 seats to take the House, 1 seat to take the Senate. The stakes are high, the margins are close, and the outcome is unpredictable. This morning, millions of Americans are heading to the polls for one of the most consequential midterms in decades. In the final hours, candidates from coast to coast making one final pitch and turning to the biggest names in politics to bring it home.
Vote. Get out the vote.
You must vote Republican in a giant red wave.
At stake, 36 governor's races and control of Congress. Majority in the Senate could all come down to just a handful of races. In Pennsylvania, it's a virtual tie. The Democrat John Fetterman with an urgent plea.
And everyone that's willing to go out and go knock on doors and to get out the votes right now, because there is just so much at stake right now in this race right now.
Republican candidate and TV doctor Mehmet Oz, laser focused on record high inflation and crime.
I talk to families who are worried about their kids walking out in the streets, literally buying video games for them so they don't go outside because they're worried what will happen because of the crime.
Nowhere is the race closer than in Georgia. Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock and former football star Herschel Walker in one of the country's most bitter races.
Herschel Walker is neither ready nor fit to represent the people of Georgia in the United States Senate.
You listen to our president say that, the biggest threat to democracy is voting for a Republican. No, the biggest threat to democracy is to keep him in the White House. That's the biggest threat to democracy right there.
In the first national election since the January 6th insurrection and the Supreme Court ruling striking down the right to an abortion, President Biden warning that Republicans want to reshape America, insisting democracy is on the ballot.
Today we face an inflection point. We know in our bones that our democracy is at risk, and we know that this is your moment to defend it.
Across the country, record numbers of early voting. More than 41 million Americans have already cast their ballot. And with contests this closely watched, election officials say counting the ballots will take time. Final results are not expected in many races, as early votes, mail-in ballots, and day of tallies are counted. All right, and that is an important point because final election results will require some patience. We may not get the final tallies by the end of the night, and that is okay. 41 million Americans voted early, and some states like Pennsylvania and Michigan will not start counting those mail-in ballots until this morning. Election officials, they are bracing for a very long night.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.